It looks like Jara and I have always been friends, but it hasn't always been that way. Let me explain a few things about myself and about the day I met Jara. I was born on a very windy day. I was a happy puppy. I had a peaceful childhood with my family in the forest, far away from the hustle and bustle of humans and civilization. One afternoon, there was a small fire on the mountain. My grandmother had a lot of experience and knew how to guide her loved ones. She took me to watch the fire. She knew how to look after herself because she had learnt from her own experience. On that day, she passed on the wisdom that would save my life many years later, in the face of the great forest fire.
You must always be careful with fire, MeFiTu, because it is very dangerous. I'm going to teach you what you have to do if one day you find yourself in trouble.
It all happened on a warm summer day. I had learned to defend myself, and I was looking for food in the forest. Suddenly, I lost my sight as a result of a column of black smoke. I could hardly breathe. In just a few seconds, I was trapped between the smoke and the flames. I started to run. I was very scared. The sound of the fire frightened me a lot, and I didn't know where to go. Then I remembered the day I was with my grandmother, who had shown me the fire, and instinctively I threw myself to the ground with my face down. First, I put my paws over my mouth and nose so I could breathe a little better. If I had had a damp cloth, I would have used it to protect me from the smoke and heat. Then I crawled downhill in the opposite direction of the wind and smoke. The fire rushed up the hillside as if it were in a chimney, and my grandmother came to mind with her teachings.
Keep away from deep ditches and ravines. And never try to outrun the fire when it is going uphill.
As soon as I reached the bottom of the hillside, I should come out in the opposite direction of the approaching fire. But out of nowhere, I saw her. In any other situation, I would have thought about food, or I would have kept running, but I stopped. I stood in the area that had already been burnt by the fire, with my back to the wind, so the fire could not reach me. I wanted to help her, but I was too frightened to get closer to her because I could get trapped in the fire too. Then I saw that she also knew what to do because she crossed the fire where the flames were at their lowest. As she jumped, her wool caught fire. She started to roll over on the ground, and soon the fire on her wool went out because it lacked air. I was scared when I got near her, but when I reached her, I realized that she was totally afraid, not of the fire, but of seeing a wolf approach her. I leaned down and said, "Hello, I only wanted to help you." With her eyes wide open, she pulled back, startled, and ran away, disappearing into the forest. I later understood that she didn't need my help. It wasn't about fighting the fire, as fire itself isn't the problem. In fact, the real problem is the state of our forests. But I'll explain that a little later on. What do you have to do if you are surrounded by smoke and flames?
Throw yourself on the ground and put your hands over your nose to breathe, or cover yourself with a damp cloth. and get as close to the ground in the opposite direction of the wind and smoke. Run up to the top of the mountain. Go towards the smoke and the wind.
Where is it least safe to escape a forest fire?
In deep ditches and ravines. In an area that has already been burnt by the fire, with your back to the wind. In a very large area without vegetation, prepared as a safe area.
You should never go across the flames, but if you are trapped and you have nowhere to go, where should you cross?
Where the flames are at their lowest and weakest point. Where the flames are at their highest. Where the flames are redder.
What should you do if your clothes catch fire?
Start running. Roll on the ground so that air can't get to the fire and will go out. Stay still.